Today, I'll take a look at this sick new Nike pack to show you what they look like in action. And since you're probably gonna want a pair after seeing them on the pitch, I'm also gonna try and help you decide which pair to get. What you're seeing here is the Nike Neighbourhood Pack. It's inspired by football hotbeds all over the world and is rooted in how football comes from the smallest stage to the biggest as the beautiful game returns. And to get a good full look at the Nike Neighbourhood Pack, I've come to one of my favorite hoods at the Right to Dream Park to tell you everything you need to know. Well, let's start off by diving into the design of the Neighbourhood Pack, where Nike have given us this absolutely ballin' looking design in chrome and red, which may or may not be inspired by that super iconic Elite Pack that we saw at the World Cup from 10 years ago. And I mean, who doesn't love a pair of chrome wheels? But also the new pack gives us a first look at this new Nike swoosh shape that has a little bit of a lightning bolt shape to it, and I actually really like it. But this here Neighbourhood Pack wants to encourage you and inspire you to go out and reclaim your territory, meaning that you should either go out and dominate your local pitch or simply just go and reclaim your normal spot on the team sheet. So as I mentioned earlier, the Neighbourhood Pack here takes inspiration from the so-called football hotbeds from all over the world, where some of the future stars are created. And to honor these really mythical local pitches, Nike have ingrained their postcodes as a pattern in the red stripes on all of the boots. And you find some pretty cool pitches here, for instance 93-140 as a reference to the Bondy pitch in Paris, where Mbappe amongst other players grew up and played as a kid. There's also SE15, which is Peckham in London, where a lot of young English bowlers plied their trades and grew into superstars. And finally, a funny one in Berlin, 53-13-35-7, which is actually a reference to the Panke Bolzplatz, where the Boateng brothers grew up and where Jota and I came back a couple of years ago. But the funny thing is that the 53 is a reference to the address Badstraße 53. The curious thing is that Badstraße 53 is 400 meters down the road from the actual address of the Panke pitch located at Travemünderstraße 2. And Badstraße 53 is the location of a mattress shop and an intersection. So slightly off, but who actually cares? But there are also other locations, from Barcelona to Milan, Sao Paulo to Buenos Aires, and Madrid to Mexico City. And I looked up the coordinates on Google Maps and they appear to be at least a little bit more spot on than the Berlin one. Another curious thing is that if you look on the side of all the boots, you can see this tone-in-tone text saying 7/20/20, which was initially a reference to the month of June this year, where the Euros and the Copa America were supposed to start. Now, of course, those are not happening, but it doesn't mean that there's not a good story in here, because seeing how football is slowly coming back in June this year, Nike could also go out and tell the story of how you should use this month to come back, play football in your neighborhood, and go and dominate the pitch, because it's been without its king, i.e. you, for a while during the lockdown. So Nike's story could be that you should come back, wearing these boots of course, and make it yours again, reclaim your territory. It might not be the story that they wanted to tell initially, but it's still a pretty good story. Now, as for the boots themselves, apart from really looking absolutely amazeballs, well, tech-wise, they're still the same boots that we've known for a while. And if we start off looking at the Mercurial series, of course you have your Vapor 13 and your Superfly 7, with the only thing really separating the two being the slightly higher dynamic fit collar on the Superfly to give you a little bit more of a sock-like compressed feel around your ankle. But apart from that, the boots are completely identical from a technological point of view, where you get your Flyknit upper with that high tenacity yarn for really soft, personal, very tight fit with great lockdown. You get a really sharp and crisp and slightly textured sensation on the ball, and the fastest outsole in the game, so you can really feel like road runners speeding away from that stupid coyote. Of course, you also have the two Phantom brothers, the Venom and the Vision, which are both focused on interacting with the ball, but in slightly different ways. If we start off with the Venom here, it's designed for shooting, giving you these here 3D engineered precision power fins that are made to give you more swerve and also slightly more punchy, powerful sensation when you hit the ball with this big, clean striking surface. So if you love shooting, this is really, really good for the job. On the other hand, we have the Phantom Vision 2s with its quad fit mesh inner sleeve to give you better lockdown, and then this full Flyknit upper that has tons of micro texturing on it, giving you a very good sensation of being completely connected to the ball no matter where and how you touch it. And it's also, on top of that, very, very comfortable. And actually, both boots are on the wider side, so if you have a slightly flatter foot, these are definitely also going to accommodate. Finally, some people are into leather, and if you're one of those guys, the Tiempo Legend 8 Elite might be right up your alley with a lovely, comfortable K-leather experience with a Flyknit tunnel and quad fit mesh for that adaptive lockdown as a little bit of a sprinkle on top. And this boot is just dead comfortable and very slipper-like straight out of the box and is nice and elegant on the ball. But it also feels a little bit like a low-cut leather version of the Phantom Vision 2s with slightly less grip. With that said, however, it's really hard to hate on because it's just so damn comfortable, and it's a great all-rounder if you're into that. So, while we haven't had any big tech innovations, it is a really solid lineup from Nike, and there is a little bit for everyone to choose from, and I just gotta say that I dig the looks of the Neighborhood Pack big time. But I also hope that this video helped you a little bit in getting better, at least, at choosing your weapon for the rest of the season and maybe the beginning of next. And actually, you can buy all of the new Nike Neighborhood Pack boots if you click the link to unisportstore.com right over there. But before you go, don't also forget to go subscribe to the channel with the notifications on, and maybe go learn how to improve as a footballer so you can come back and reclaim your neighborhood in the playlist right down there. With that said, guys, I'm signing off. Cheerio.